So I'm going to talk to you about running a DevOps business without calling it DevOps. And first I want to give you a CIO perspective on how I look at DevOps. I don't look at DevOps from the practitioner perspective. I don't look at it from the divisional group team perspective. I look at it from the business perspective. And the whole reason that I became a CIO was because I saw early in my career, since 1992, how badly IT was harming the business. And so I became something of a turnaround specialist. And that's really hard to describe when someone asks you what you do at cocktail parties. So I always end up saying to them, because you say, I'm IT, and people go, oh, IT. And then you say, no. I'm the guy who unscrews IT. And that always gets at least a giggle, and then they know exactly what it is I do. So my whole purpose in life is to make sure that IT helps, not harms, the business. So I look at DevOps as just one tool in the portfolio of tools, whether it's digital, whether it's, oh, wow, we got to do this new mobility thing, or whether it's lean startup borrowed from the startup world. I look at this whole portfolio of tools as just a way to continue to help and not harm. So when I get a call from Lorianne McLaughlin, who's an extremely talented and bright editor, and she says to me, Jonathan, I want to talk to you about how employees can spot a great DevOps shop. And you guys have done some really cool things, which my team has done some really cool things. I'll show you one of them in a minute. I am blessed beyond measure to have a fantastic team. But I said, Lori, I don't identify as a DevOps shop. And this is a woman who doesn't take no for an answer. And she says, well, I see you're doing X and Y and P and D and Q, and those are all DevOps, Jonathan. And I said, guilty as charged, Lori. And she says, so the kind of people who want to work in that environment want to work for your kind of environment. Okay, fine, I'll talk to you, okay. But when I started thinking about it after the conversation, I just had this aha moment where I said, well, why don't we identify as DevOps? And really, the reason is, again, it's one tool in the toolbox. If I had an office of DevOps, do I also need to have an agile program manager? Do I need to have a lean startup czar? Do I need to have a Kanban chief? It's just never ending. So the most important thing about DevOps is also, interestingly, the only thing that no one argues about when it comes to DevOps. There was a panel yesterday where there were lots of different ideas thrown around, but the consistent theme was it's all about culture. Well, here's the thing. Culture isn't this strange amorphous animal. Culture is the amalgamation of us, all of us. Everyone in this room who's on my team contributes to culture. Things like, I had to get my kid to work. I had to get my kid to school and then get to work. Sure, we give flexibility. Things like, the organization doesn't harm them. Things like, we expect flexibility in return. There's a social contract. One of our core values is that we recognize that high-performing people require an employee-friendly workplace. Because what happens when you have an employee-hostile workplace? Who do you lose? Oh, your top performers. Whoops. So I show you this not only to show that this is a team, this is support, this is technical services, and this is what we call business and public technology, all coming together to execute on a citywide and highly important transformational project, but I also share it with you to give you the tone of the department, that we adopt mascots and we put posters up in City Hall that are kind of goofy and fun, and I get phone calls about them, and it's effective change management. Yep. So what do, right? Because I don't want to talk about what we say we do. What do? We reduce friction. We increase usability. If something is hard to use, just ask Borders.com. All of a sudden, another player will come in and do it better, quicker, faster, cheaper, with less friction. The answer to that is usability. You've got to reduce Big Bang IT. Hello, healthcare.gov. Can we please start doing fast, small experiments? If they don't work out, throw them out. We don't throw the people out, but we kill programs all the time. And we reduce complexity, technical debt, but we also reduce the complexity of communications because, by God, we want to be understood. Because we actually care what our fellow employees are thinking and doing, and when we do a project, we do it with them. We don't do it to them. And when we communicate in bite-sized chunks. Keep it simple. I am famous in my department for saying too many words. Too many words. Because what happens when you see too many words in an email? Where does your finger go? No, not that finger. It goes to the delete key. And so this is one way that we remain highly effective, and we end up with results that I'm proud of, because we make applications and we punch above our weight class and we deploy products from other vendors and we make portals when there are no other alternatives. One of them is an application called Simplicity, which has been recognized across the United States as a model for how cities should be doing data lookup, as something that looks like Google, not something that looks like an enterprise app. So take a look.
Introducing Simplicity, a simpler way to get the information you need from your local government. Simply enter an address, street, neighborhood, property owner name, or even the name of an establishment, and Simplicity will prompt you with a list of questions to help you zero in on what you're looking for. Simplicity. It's your city's data simplified.
So I'm from a region that has about 400,000 people, about 120,000 of them come into the city every day to live, work, and play. If we can do this with a very small dev staff, if we can do this and delight citizens to the point where people stop me and say, I'm a real estate agent, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for Simplicity. If we can use these techniques, whether or not you call yourself a DevOps shop or not, I believe you can do it too. Thank you so much.